What's up, Tigers? Welcome back to this week's episode of Tiger Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Shane Stewart, joined alongside Noah Mass. How are you doing today, Noah?
I'm doing good. How are you, Jayden?
I'm doing good. We're also joined alongside Hayden and Carson. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Doing great.
And yeah, we're here to talk some NFL football. To start off, Jayden Daniels. He's been a very hot topic. Kind of struggled the first week, but they've been playing lights out recently. And Hayden, I'm just going to start with you. What are your thoughts about him so far this season?
Jayden Daniels so far has looked like one of the best rookie quarterbacks in the league. Well, he looks like the best rookie quarterback in the league, but also like top 15 right now, honestly, if not maybe top 10. I think Jayden Daniels.
Whoa.
I'd say top 5.
That's a great take.
Top 10? You wouldn't
Top
say
5.
so?
He's being
I
safe.
put him in the top 5.
Top
Like,
5?
I put him in the top 5.
I just didn't
want
wanna-
to safe about it.
I didn't want to
to
overrank him
Okay.
above my glorious
Okay.
King Sam Darnold.
Okay.
But Jayden Daniels has played lights out football. He's connecting with Terry McLaurin finally, and he's running everywhere. He's playing smart. He's making the easy passes. He's not making difficult throws like other quarterbacks are right now. He's playing safe, and that's all you have to do to just get the win.
I agree. Jayden Daniels, he's great statistically, but also, if you watch him, he's not throwing for 30, 40 passes a game. Like the other night, he threw for, 18 or 22 passes on whatever, 92 completion percentage. He's throwing good passes. He's being smart. And I think his, greatest strength is realizing that you don't need to be statistically good to be a good quarterback. Because, like y'all said, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and his stats, wouldn't say. He's not leading in passing yards. He's not leading in passing touchdowns. He's not leading in all these crazy quarterback stats. But
maybe percentage completion.
he's definitely leading completion percentage, but that's probably about it. Maybe rushing yards. But he's making these plays, and he's leading his team to a winning record. What are they, 4-1? I think they're 4-1 as of right now. And I'm really excited to see how he progresses throughout the season and to see what he becomes even later throughout in his NFL career in the next 5-10 years or however long he plays.
Let's hope it goes to 5 to 10 years. I hope it does.
RG3.
I hope he doesn't pull RG3. That would be very, very unfortunate. But Jayden Daniels, I would say, is playing like y'all are saying, or unlike Hayden saying, like a top 5 quarterback. But just trying to be. I get it. You're trying to be safe, and honestly, I don't know. He's playing like that. He's just, like Carson said, is being safe. He's making the smart plays. He's looking like a real veteran, like a seasoned veteran for some reason. Mm-hmm. And they're giving him more of like a college-type play style, like letting him play like the college-type play style, which is very great. That's where he needs to be. I don't know. Let's just hope he doesn't end up getting injured like RG3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been playing very good. He's having one of the best statistically all-time seasons completion percentage-wise. It's 78%, I think. Absolutely crazy. But he's just being very smart with the football, not getting very many turnovers. Finally getting Terry involved. That's good. And Dan Quinn also, shout out to him. He's been a great coach, great mentor to Jayden, and really improving on him. But I like Washington a lot, and I think they're going to win the division, if I'm being honest with you. Eagles and Cowboys have both been inconsistent. We know how the Giants are. But hopefully he can just stay healthy, because we saw LSU how Looney Tune crazy tackles would happen. But he's playing very good. Maybe might even be better than Stroud's last season. So
I think if Jayden Daniels keeps playing like this, he could definitely have the best rookie quarterback season of all time. So
I think he's on pace for it right now.
He is on pace for it. I think
he's playing like a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
not just for rookies. He's playing at an elite level.
Yeah, he's looking a lot better than CJ Stroud last year. So
yeah, just hopefully stays healthy, and they could definitely make a run in the playoffs. That leads us into the next topic. The Bills and the Texans, they played yesterday. The Texans came out to an early lead. Bills came back. The Bills get the ball on the very final drive. They thought, with 30 seconds, they decide to pass it 3 straight times. Who in their right mind thinks that? They're all incompletions. They punt from their own end zone. and Texans drive down, win the ball game. Noah, I'm going to start with you. Do you think they're pretenders or contenders? What do you think about their collapse?
I don't really have an opinion on, like, it's still an early season. We haven't seen them play, like, we have seen them play, like, big teams, but we haven't seen them play a lot of big teams and see where they place with that. For right now, like, I don't know. Probably pretenders for now. They aren't looking like they should be. Josh Allen, little inconsistent last game with his throwing. I don't know. Pretenders, that's all I got to say. I don't really have an opinion. I'm trying to have an opinion on it, but I don't know. We haven't seen too much from the season just yet.
I would say, honestly, it's hard. Obviously, like Noah said, it's early season. But I would say they still look half decent, even with the receiver core, even with everything. I'm going to say they're still contenders. Obviously, their division is not very strong. The Jets don't look good. The Dolphins don't have Tua. The Patriots are the Patriots.
Buns.
Exactly. But I would say the Bills are only contenders because of their division. They'll probably end up winning it, honestly, because I don't know if they'll pull Tua off IR. Even if they do, he's going to be playing like awful. I can't even say it. It won't be good if they pull Tua off IR. But I would say they're contenders just for the fact that they'll win their division, and I think Josh Allen will put it together again recently.
I think I think both of them are right in their own way. I think they're pretenders in the sense that when they make it to the playoffs, they're not going to do anything. It's the same Bills every year. They go dominant in the regular season, fumble in the playoffs, and they lose. But I think Hayden's also right because he brought up the strength of their division, and their division just isn't good.
Yeah.
The Patriots aren't good. The Dolphins aren't good. And then the Jets are like the only competition they might have, and they're not even looking too hot. So they're contenders until playoff starts, and then they turn into complete pretenders just based off what I've seen because it's just the same Bills every year. Like ever since Josh Allen's been in the league, it's the same Bills, dominant in the regular season, and then just get in the playoffs.
I wouldn't even say dominant. They just played like trash. They have an easy schedule.
They're so inconsistent.
They just have an easy schedule, and they play trash teams.
But it's like they look so dominant because they're because their division is so bad. Their scores are just so high. Like when they play their division, it's just
and then they struggle against good teams.
Yeah, they struggle in the playoffs. Like it's not looking good for the Bills, I don't think.
I feel like just if they can't make a Super Bowl with Stephon Diggs, there's no shot they'll make it with Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. They came off of a blowout loss to the Ravens where they looked terrible, and then Josh Allen, 9 of 31. That is brutal. I don't know how he did that bad. And I said this last year, I thought McDermott should be on the hot seat, potential fire candidate.
I think they need to fire him.
For sure. If they have another first-round exit, he's just not getting it done.
Especially
and it showed that play calling like yesterday.
Yeah.
That was so
horrible.
terrible.
Like you can throw right there, but throw a drag, get some yards, get 3 or 4 yards.
It's your own end zone, so at least
like,
I'm okay with passing it the first 2 times, but you run that on third down. You do not do 3 straight passes.
You also have to take into account they can't run 3 straight because Houston's just going to use all 3 of their timeouts, and they're not going to get a first down. They're going to stop the first down, use their timeouts, and then they're going to punt, and they're probably going to be in the same position. They're going to be within their 10-yard line punting. And then Houston just gets an easy out route to center the field probably or get 10 yards for an easy chip-in field goal. So there's not a lot you can do there, but you got to do what's best. Like you can't just straight throw it 3 times, 3 incompletions. You got to at least try. You can't just give up the game like that. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
It was
and they're very dumb throws too.
It was a horrible
close
watch.
to interception.
I don't know. I really think they need to start putting Keon Coleman more into the
Definitely
play,
more involved in the play call.
Yeah, he's looking really solid. He's catching like almost every single pass he gets thrown.
He's a big physical receiver.
Yeah,
he's fast, big.
I've watched some passes that are thrown to him. He just catches it every single time over the top of their head. So I'm like, I don't know why they're not incorporating him more. But again, that could just be a Sean McDermott thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for the NFL segment. Now over to fantasy football.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Welcome back, Tigers, to Tiger Sports Report podcast. We're here to talk some fantasy football. Joined alongside Hayden again and Eli. Start off, we're going to be talking about fantasy MVP so far this season. Eli, we're going to start with you.
My fantasy MVP is Malik Neighbors because he has the most points among wide receivers already. Daniel Jones looks decent, and he's his only guy there. He's been throwing them 3 touchdowns. He had like 12 receptions against the Cowboys. I love that volume. He's going to end up as wide receiver 1.
Wide receiver 1. He's averaging like almost 20 targets a game because there's no one else to throw the ball to. But my fantasy MVP is Derrick Henry himself. He's had 2 really good games so far this season, like a 25.1 and a 30.1, I think. He ran all over Buffalo for 200 yards and a receiving touchdown, which he does never do.
Yeah.
He never does that.
He destroyed me in my league. I was so sad. I was like, dang, 40
But
points or something.
Derrick Henry is so far one of the top running backs in the league so far. I would say the only person above that is Saquon Barkley. But other than that, Derrick Henry.
Henry is more consistent, though, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Saquon, I have Saquon. He's been pretty consistent. That's what I'm going to say is my MVP. Even though the Eagles aren't doing so great, Jalen Hurts looks at him as a very consistent receiver, and he's getting all the attempts and everything. He's had like 2 30-point games and then 1 29-point. And then his only bad game was like a 14-point game, which still isn't horrible in like fantasy points-wise at all. So, and the good thing about him is that he gets like over 100 yards every game, which in my league, if a player gets over 100 yards, it's an extra 2 points. So that was like, I don't know, that's really good for me. So, Jayden.
I'd say Nico Collins is mine, which really pains me because I picked Devonta Smith above him. So
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I have Nico in my
picked him
league.
up. It's like you had to pick up one of the 3 Texans receivers. You know one of them's going to go off, and it happened to be Nico.
but
Yeah,
Nico, he's on track for like 2,000, I think.
Yeah.
He got
Never
hurt,
done
and he
before.
still had like 78 receiving yards. Actually, crazy. But
Two catches, 70 receiving yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he finally got
baller.
Stroud as a quarterback, and he's just been balling out. He's
Yeah.
amazing. For sure, he's going to finish with at least like 1,750 receiving yards. But
He's going to be like a top 5 fantasy receiver, honestly, at this point.
He
he's
could break the
definitely
record for the
I
regular
think-
season receiving yards.
I think he'll be the number 1 receiver at the end of the fantasy season.
Yeah, he's definitely a league winner, possibly,
Yeah.
since most people probably go him in the 3rd or 4th round, something like that.
Exactly.
But the next one is we're going to talk about some trade targets. Noah, let's start with you.
I would say CMC. Even though he's injured and may not come back the same, I would still take the risk on him. You can buy him for really low right now. Not a lot of people think he's going to come back, but if you really look into the news and look into the articles and even what CMC and his teammates are saying, he's going to come back sometime in November. So I would recommend picking him up for really low. I traded J.K. Dobbins away, and I got CMC on my team.
My trade target is going to be Chuba Hubbard. I feel like he's under a lot of people's radars. He's the only weapon for Carolina. I know he plays for Carolina, which is dangerous because they have a horrible offense, but after some inconsistency from Bryce Young and Andy Dalton after last Sunday, I think Chuba Hubbard is the real deal for that offense.
I like that. Chuba Hubbard's not a bad back, but also at the end of the day, it is Carolina. But I'd say there's honestly 2 I'd honestly say you could go for right now. Tyreek Hill, not doing too hot. You can get him, I honestly say, pretty cheaply. I had a friend traded away Tyreek Hill and Nick Chubb. Traded them both away. Returned, got back Jordan Mason and Tank Dell for both those guys. It was brutal. I made fun of him so hard. I clowned him.
Tank Dell's like what, wide receiver 3 on the
Yes,
team?
wide receiver 3.
He hasn't had like a
But-
single game above 10 points. I don't
Exactly.
think.
And another one I'd say you could go get A.J. Brown. He's been out since week
Yeah,
one.
that's a great
He's been out
point.
since week 1. No, he's on everyone, just like holding up space. I've been trying to honestly go get A.J. Brown. I'm trying to get him cheaply, but I haven't found anyone that's trying to take him off like I can get from him.
Yeah.
I'd say Nick Chubb. Noah, you being a Browns fan, you know how consistent he is. Like, I feel like he will be healthy, and a few weeks, and you can probably get him for really low. I've been stashing him on my IR all season, but I feel like he'll still get you a consistent about 15, 20 or so points.
Yeah,
once
You
he
don't
comes
think
back.
his career's
I
just
don't
gonna
know.
go?
That's my
go
he's
down?
tough.
That's my fear.
He's one of the
I don't know.
strongest.
He tore his ACL back in college.
He
His
did
senior
it
year.
was the same knee.
Is it the same knee?
Same,
Yeah.
same knee.
Yeah, he shredded
No,
that same
I
knee.
I
don't-
feel like
in
he'll
I
be
don't trust
decent at
it.
least, though. Like, he can be a flex option at least.
I
I'd
don't know.
also say
I don't
Drake
know.
London. Sadly, I traded him
London's
away
good.
before this 35-point game, but
Yeah.
him and Kirk Cousins, they're really connecting now. Great connection, and London's really popping off these past 2 or 3 weeks. He's a great guy that you might have to pay up a little bit more for him, like maybe A.J. Brown or something, some injured guy. If you want someone to win now with, Drake London could be a great guy with super high upside.
Yeah, well, Kirk looks great now. I mean, he's finally played off the rust after that injury, and he had a 500-yard game. You want any of his receivers at that point.
Darnell, he looks really good.
Yeah, Pitt's
Yeah.
finally living up to the hype
Pitts
just
does
a
not
little
look
bit.
good.
I
No.
think I've had him
Inconsistency.
every single year since he's been a rookie.
Jaden
I
fell
never
for the bait
learned.
again.
Yeah,
Jaden fell for the bait
Never
again.
learn. Ever.
Never learned, but
Yeah, it's tough. He's too inconsistent, in my opinion. Not worth
Of course,
the
all
risk.
the tight ends are, though.
the tight
I don't
ends
think there's a
suck.
single one that's been
Except George
consistent
Kittle.
all year.
Kraft has
George
been a little
Kittle.
consistent.
George Kittle's
like,
been
Kraft
very
just
consistent.
started recently going
Nah,
off.
that's just one game.
Brock Bowers.
he had some
Brock,
good
yeah.
games before that, though. No, Brock.
Brock Bowers
Brock
was
lost
doing
me
good,
a
but he's
week.
went to like
Really?
7
Every
or 6
week.
lately.
I think T-Hawk's going to come back and be one of the most consistent tight ends.
I don't know. I have George Kittle. He's been pretty good. He's
I
had
don't know what
consistent
happened
points,
to
so.
Kincaid. I thought Kincaid was going to be like tight end
You know,
one.
Laporta too,
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, so many
Buns.
guys. Kelsey.
And it's not like Isaiah Likely's consistent either. He had a
Yeah.
few bad
Yeah.
weeks. So
A few.
Just a crazy
yeah,
year for
but
tight ends.
we only have like 4 weeks to work with.
I didn't
so-
mean like a few as in like you're harshly doing it. Like it's been more than a few, and it's not. They're not just bad. They've been
Yeah.
awful bad weeks.
I don't know, but I would recommend picking up some Rams receivers like Darnell Whittington and Tutu Atwell. They've been pretty consistent,
Yeah.
even on a kind of bad offense. I don't know. They're really good flex options. I have both of them on my bench, but I keep forgetting to start them.
Yeah, I had
So.
to pick up their tight end this week because Goddard was on a bye, and he got me like 9
Goddard's been
points. He's
consistent.
Parkinson's not
Parkinson,
too bad if you need a backup.
had him since
Brenton Strange isn't
week
bad.
2.
He saved me 1 week.
Yeah.
So
I've had Parkinson since week 2, and this is the first game he's actually done something for me. I'm about to drop him for Tyler Conklin this week because he's going on bye. I'm not picking him up. He's a
Conklin's
bum.
everyone's inconsistent. You just have to choose your
Yeah.
inconsistent tight end at this
You
point.
just hope you get lucky.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for the fantasy football segment. Now over to college football.
and that's
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms, and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, from specialists in surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
What's up, Tigers? Welcome back to the final segment of the Tiger Sports Report podcast. We're joined alongside Sydney and Zyler. How are you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good.
I'm doing good.
That's good. First, we're going to start off with Alabama. They played Vanderbilt, and oh gosh, Zyler, we're going to start with you. That game was just insane. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, Vanderbilt came off a bye week, and I think a couple weeks before they lost to some Georgia Southern team or something like that. And I honestly have no clue how they scored 40 and won against Alabama. So
I think it was pure luck. Like, that is crazy. They made Alabama was ranked number 1, right? And they dropped to 7th place. That is crazy.
It's bad enough getting 40 scored
I
on you,
know.
but losing, just brutal.
I don't know. It's never pure luck. Nothing is ever pure luck. It's anything can happen on a Saturday, and college football is the most I want to say craziest. Let's say sports platform, NCAA. Do you agree with that, Jayden?
Yeah.
Well, the craziest games can go on.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Upsets like crazy, but this was probably the most eventful Saturday college football's ever had.
For sure.
Vanderbilt, they're probably gonna lose to like Maine or something next week.
Yeah, and they're still gonna be riding the goalposts down the river. So
like they almost beat Missouri too, but they lose to Georgia Southern. It makes no sense at all. Alabama, I know Saban must have been so upset.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't even think he allowed more than 40 points his whole career at Alabama against Vanderbilt. But I think they just, I don't know, and what happened.
Yeah,
Their
they just gotta keep feeding Ryan Williams the ball.
Their defense got exposed for sure. So they just really need to figure stuff out. I think they'll still win the SEC probably.
Oh, yeah.
But that kind of leads into the next topic. Texas, they're at the top right now. Do you guys think they're going to maintain it? What do you think about them?
I think there's like a chance they may, but I don't know. I feel like Alabama will still get back up there.
I believe that Texas, they're playing OU this week, but I feel like they can get a win, but they're also going to have some off week at some point. You can't be perfect every single week, you know, and that may drop, but I think they still can take that top spot and win the SEC.
I think Alabama can take the spot. I think they will be taking that spot. I don't know. Alabama always has this weird game where they lose like every 5 years to some crap team or whatever.
Yeah, unknown team.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I honestly have Alabama winning the Natty because like it's Alabama. You can't ever root against Alabama like that. Maybe last year, but I don't know, Jayden.
I think this is just probably going to light even bigger fire in Alabama. I still think they're going to win the SEC, at least make the Natty or the semifinals. And Bill Rope, he's just going to keep feeding Williams, and they'll definitely kick it back in. But the next topic is OSU. They had some really high hopes coming into the season. Zyler, we're going to start with you. I know you're an OSU fan. What went wrong in that West Virginia game?
I'm going to be honest, I turned it off after like halftime, but Bowman's getting too old for college football, and I honestly don't think he can make the NFL either. But it's honestly nothing to say about how poorly the performance was, especially against a West Virginia team that's not one of the best in the Big 12. I can understand the loss to Utah maybe.
Or Iowa State.
Yeah, but not West Virginia.
Hey, I don't know. West Virginia sometimes gives our Oklahoma teams a run for their money. So
yeah, they show up against.
They always show up against us for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't know. That's just been OU's luck in the past.
Yeah, Sydney.
I just think it's crazy how they pulled Bowman the third quarter because he threw 2 interceptions, and then they put in an even worse quarterback.
You always got to give the guy a chance. I mean,
yeah, but
especially
I don't know. I guess they had like time to waste because they were already down like a significant amount of points. So.
And OSU's even tried Garrett Rangel in other games where he did not perform well either. I don't know why they still put him in.
I mean, it's worth a shot, but like still, I don't think they should have pulled their quarterback. I think that was a dumb decision.
Noah?
I don't know. If the starter's not doing well, you always got to see how your backup's playing. And they have, 3 backups? Or 2 backups?
3.
I don't know. I feel like they should have just interchanged between the guys. I think they should interchange between the guys from going on just because Brock Bowers obviously wasn't doing that well.
Yeah.
And their running back
My
got
bad.
injured.
I messed the name up, guys. I'm still stuck on fantasy.
What's their running back's name?
Ollie Gordon.
Ollie Gordon, yeah.
He won the Doak Walker Award, and he got injured. That is crazy.
I don't know. He was never a Heisman vote for me. I don't think he ever will. My Heisman vote for right now is Travis Hunter, and then the guy from Boise State, Ashton.
Ginch.
Yeah, Ginch or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know OSU fans are going to hate me saying this, but Ollie Gordon, he should transfer. He tanked his draft stock.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he'd be a third-round pick because he's looked terrible. His average yards per carry, it's probably like 3.5. And, like, he needs to have one more good year in college if he wants to be that first-round pick. So I really think he should transfer to some top school, Texas, Alabama, one of the SEC schools, and he'd play lights out. He'd be back to how he played last year. So I really just think he should transfer. And I know how much you probably hate that, but OSU definitely, they have a lot of problems going on that they need to fix soon if they don't want him to transfer. Now, the last topic, Red River Rivalry Week, or I like to call it Texas Hate Week. Sydney, we're going to start with you. Who do you have winning that game?
I'm for Texas. I'm like I don't really like OU. I'm a pretty big OSU fan, so.
That's a reason. What? Just because you're an OSU fan doesn't mean you should root against OU. I mean,
that's enough reason for me.
No, because whenever I watch an OSU game, I'll root for OSU just because it's an Oklahoma team. Never root for Texas. Texas.
Oh, I was definitely rooting for Tennessee playing OU.
Why? I don't get that. I don't get that.
Yeah, I think OU, Michael Hawkins really just, it's
He's
going to be
stepping it
the
up.
biggest game of his life. He needs to come out, and we know OU, like Texas, it doesn't matter what the records are. It's
Nope.
always going to be a game any given
'Cause
Saturday.
we both
you
hate
could
each
say.
other, so
And OU, they did look a lot better that second half against Auburn, so hopefully they have it figured out, and Texas hopefully give them a run for their money. But
I don't know. I think Texas will destroy OU, but that's just my opinion. Just because how the teams are. I hope Michael Hawkins really turns it up though. Like you said, it's gonna be the most important game of his life, and he needs to show these NFL scouts what he can do.
it all comes down to the wide receivers.
It does.
Like, we cannot be playing Texas with a fifth-string wide
Yeah.
receiver as our number one. We need at least Nick Anderson back. But who do you guys have winning that game?
I got Texas, honestly,
too.
because Texas, are they undefeated right now? Like 5-0?
Number one team in the
Yeah,
country.
number
moved
one
up 'cause of
too.
Bama.
Biased opinion. Okay.
No. I really think OU can't beat Texas, at least this year and this week.
Yeah, I'm for Texas all the way.
Well, I'm lone wolfing them. We are their father, Quinn Ewers. Yeah, he does not play good against OU.
Is it Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning that's playing?
Quinn Ewers, they do think he's going to be healthy this week. So,
I'd say
of course,
get
that could
bum
help
outta
us, though,
here.
if he's a little bit
I'd say get that
unhealthy
bum out of
still.
here.
Yep. Get him benched at halftime.
Yep.
But that's all we have for this week's episode of Tiger Sports Report podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you next time, Tigers.